My name is Taylor Swift, and I was born on December 13th, 1989, in Reading, Pennsylvania. From the very first moment I could speak, I remember being drawn to music. I would hum little melodies, tap on tables to make rhythm, and create tiny songs about my world, my feelings, and my dreams. I was a little girl with big dreams, a heart full of hope, and a mind that imagined stages, microphones, and crowds cheering for me. Growing up, my parents supported my every interest, but I knew music was more than a hobby. It was my calling. I would write little poems and lyrics in notebooks, sometimes late at night, when the house was silent and the world felt still. Those words became a safe space for me, a place where I could express my feelings without fear or judgment. I didn't grow up in a world of fame yet, but I had ambition. I wanted to share my voice, my songs, my story, with people who could feel it in their hearts. I would perform at school events, small town gatherings, and local competitions. Every time someone listened, smiled, or applauded, it fueled the fire inside me. I realized that music was not just what I loved, it was what I needed to breathe, to live, and to become someone who could touch others' hearts. Even as a child, I faced doubts. I worried if I was good enough. I worried if I could ever make my dreams real. Sometimes I would cry alone, feeling small compared to the enormous world outside. But then I would pick up my guitar, strum the strings, and sing. And in those moments, I felt powerful. I felt like myself, and I knew deep down that nothing could stop me if I believed in my heart. I started taking steps toward Nashville, the city of dreams for country music, with my family's help. We moved closer to where I could meet producers, attend auditions, and make connections that might turn my dreams into reality. It was scary, leaving the familiar, the comfort of home, and stepping into the unknown. But fear didn't stop me. It became my companion, reminding me that everything worth pursuing is worth being brave for. Every memory from my childhood reminds me of who I am, a dreamer, a fighter, and a storyteller. Even before the world knew my name, my heart was already full of songs waiting to be sung. And this is where my journey truly began, the journey of Taylor Swift, a girl with a voice, a story, and dreams bigger than the sky itself. After moving closer to Nashville, I realized that dreams don't come easy. Every day was a challenge: auditions, meetings with producers, and endless practice. I was just a teenager trying to find my place in a world full of talent, and sometimes the fear of failure felt overwhelming. I remember the first time I sang in front of a producer. My hands were shaking, my heart was pounding, but as soon as I started to sing, I felt at home. The melodies I had created in my bedroom, the lyrics I had poured my heart into, they suddenly felt alive. For the first time, I understood that music could be a bridge between my soul and the world. Not everything was easy. I faced rejection. People told me my style wasn't marketable, that I was too young, that the industry was too competitive. At times, I cried alone in my room, wondering if I had made a mistake leaving my childhood behind. But every no became a lesson. Every doubt fueled my determination. I promised myself that I would not let anyone's opinion define my path. And then came the breakthrough, the first recording deal. I was still young, still figuring out who I was, but suddenly the world opened a door I had been knocking on for years. Recording my first songs in a real studio was magical and terrifying at the same time. I remember staring at the microphone, thinking, this is it. This is my moment. Will I be brave enough to give it everything I have? I poured all my emotions into those songs, my dreams, my fears, my excitement, and even my loneliness. Music became my diary, my safe haven, and my voice when words alone were not enough. Every track I recorded felt like a piece of me being shared with the world, and I hoped that someone, somewhere, would feel it and understand it. It wasn't just about fame, it was about connection. I wanted people to hear my story, to see the world through my eyes, and to feel that they were not alone in their dreams, their struggles, and their hopes. The first fans who noticed me, who sang along to my early songs, became my lifeline. Their support reminded me that this journey was bigger than me. It was about touching hearts. And that's when I realized the truth about chasing your dreams. The road is never smooth, the challenges never end, but the moments of magic, the moments when your voice reaches someone's heart, make every struggle worth it. This was only the beginning of Taylor Swift's journey, a girl with big dreams, fierce determination, and a heart that refused to give up. From here, my story would take me to places I never imagined, teaching me lessons, breaking my heart, and showing me the power of music, courage, and love. Once my first songs reached people, I realized that music had the power to change lives, not just mine, but others as well. I remember the first time someone told me that my song made them feel understood, that it helped them through a hard moment. In that moment, I knew that fame was not just about recognition or awards, it was about connection, about touching hearts in ways that words alone could not. As my albums released one after another, Taylor Swift, Fearless, and later Red, the world started to notice. The small girl from Reading, Pennsylvania, was stepping onto stages bigger than she ever imagined. It was exciting, overwhelming, and terrifying all at once. I was performing in front of thousands of people, with lights blinding me, yet feeling more alive than I ever had before. But fame came with a price. Every move I made was scrutinized, every relationship dissected by the media, and every mistake magnified. There were days I felt like I couldn't breathe, like the weight of everyone's expectations would crush me. I cried, I doubted myself, and I sometimes wished I could disappear into a normal life. Yet, music remained my anchor. When I sang, I felt free. When I wrote, I felt strong. And slowly, I learned how to navigate the world of fame without losing myself. Love and heartbreak became part of my story as well. Every relationship, every betrayal, every disappointment, while painful, became inspiration for my songs. Songs like All Too Well were born from tears, heartbreak, and raw emotion. I learned that vulnerability wasn't a weakness, it was my superpower. Sharing my heart through lyrics made me real, made me relatable, and made me stronger. Awards and recognition came, but what mattered most was the voice I had built for myself, the connection with fans, and the courage to keep telling my story. I realized that stardom wasn't about being perfect, it was about being authentic. It was about turning pain into art, criticism into motivation, and fear into determination. As I stood on stage, looking out at the faces of thousands of fans singing along to my songs, I understood. This is why I never gave up. This is why every rejection, every tear, every lonely night mattered. I was living my dream, and I was inspiring others to live theirs. And so, the journey of Taylor Swift continued not just as a singer, but as a storyteller, a dreamer, and a young woman learning to embrace life's highs and lows with courage and heart. Fame taught me more than I ever imagined. It taught me that the world can be harsh, but it also taught me the power of resilience. I am Taylor Swift, and my journey has been full of lessons, sometimes painful, sometimes beautiful, but always necessary. I learned that it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to stumble, to cry, to feel lost. Because each mistake became a stepping stone toward growth. Every heartbreak taught me about love, every betrayal taught me about trust, and every criticism taught me about self-belief. Writing music became my way of processing life. Every song I wrote carried a piece of my soul. From the sadness of lost love to the joy of friendship, from the anxiety of judgment to the thrill of achieving a dream, my lyrics reflected everything I felt. I realized that sharing my emotions wasn't just cathartic for me, it connected me to millions of people who felt the same way. I also learned the importance of boundaries. In a world that constantly wanted a piece of me, I discovered that protecting my heart, my mental health, and my creativity was essential. Saying no became a strength, not a weakness. Prioritizing myself didn't mean I cared less for others. It meant I could show up fully for the people and the work that mattered most. Heartbreak became a teacher as well. I won't lie, there were nights when the pain felt unbearable. I cried alone, questioning if I could ever trust again, if I could ever open my heart fully. But with time, I learned that heartbreak was not the end. It was a lesson in self-love, patience, and understanding. I embraced growth in all areas of my life. Musically, I experimented with new sounds, genres, and collaborations. Personally, I became more introspective, more confident, and more compassionate. I realized that fame wasn't just about performing on stage. It was about evolving as a person, learning from every experience, and sharing that growth with others. Looking back now, I can say with certainty that every challenge, every tear, every victory shaped me. I am stronger, wiser, and more in tune with my own voice than I ever was. And through it all, one truth remains: the journey is just as important as the destination. The lessons we carry define us more than the accolades we receive. I am Taylor Swift, and I am proud of the person I am becoming every single day. As I navigated fame, music, and the world's expectations, I also had to navigate my personal life. I am Taylor Swift, and growing up in the spotlight is not easy. Every relationship, every friendship, every choice was watched, discussed, and judged. Sometimes it felt like I had no private life at all. Love was both a blessing and a challenge. I experienced heartbreak that felt like it would never heal, moments when trust seemed impossible, and times when I questioned if love was worth the pain. But I also learned that real love, is worth the risks. It teaches you empathy, patience, and how to open your heart again, even when it has been broken. Family and friends became my anchors. They reminded me who I was beyond the fame, beyond the music, beyond the cameras. They celebrated my victories with me, comforted me through failures, and kept me grounded when the world tried to sweep me away. One of my proudest moments came when I decided to re-record my albums and reclaim my music through Taylor's version. It was not just a business move. It was a statement of self-respect, courage, and ownership. It showed me, and hopefully others, that you can fight for what is yours, and that standing up for yourself is always worth it. Then came the Eras Tour, a journey that allowed me to revisit every chapter of my career. From the country songs of my early albums to the pop hits of today, I could see how far I had come and how much I had grown. Standing on stage, looking at thousands of fans singing along, I felt gratitude, joy, and a deep connection to every person who had been a part of my journey. Even in my personal milestones, happiness found me. In 2025, announcing my engagement to Travis Kelce was a chapter of love and hope I had been dreaming of. It was a reminder that life has its own timing and that patience and faith are sometimes the greatest gifts we can give ourselves. Looking back, I realized that success is not only about awards, fame, or recognition. It is about growth, resilience, and learning to love yourself amidst the chaos. It is about using your voice to inspire, to heal, and to connect with others. And through it all, I am still learning. I am still evolving. But I am proud of every choice, every song, every step that has led me here. I am Taylor Swift, and my journey continues full of music, love, lessons, and hope. To everyone listening to my story, I want you to know something very important. I am Taylor Swift, but before all the awards, the fame, and the tours, I am just a girl who dreamed, who stumbled, who cried, and who kept getting back up. Life will test you. It will challenge you in ways you cannot imagine. You will face heartbreak, rejection, failure, and doubt. But I promise you, every scar, every tear, every struggle will teach you something invaluable. It will shape you, strengthen you, and prepare you for the moments of joy, love, and triumph that are waiting ahead. I learned that authenticity is your greatest gift. Never hide your true self to please the world. Your voice, your story, your heart, they matter. Sharing them will not only heal you, but it will also inspire others who feel unseen, unheard, or misunderstood. To my fans, my Swifties, you are my heart. Your love, your support, and your belief in me have lifted me through the hardest times. Every song I sing, every word I write, every performance I give is for you. You remind me why it's worth it to keep going, to keep creating, and to keep dreaming. And to anyone chasing a dream, no matter how impossible it seems, believe in yourself, even when no one else does. Take the first step, even if your hands are shaking. Keep moving forward, even if the road is uncertain. Because the journey is where the magic happens, the lessons, the growth, the courage, and the heart you discover along the way. I am Taylor Swift, and I am still learning, still dreaming, and still creating. I am proud of who I am, the music I make, and the person I am becoming. And I hope my story reminds you that you are capable, you are strong, and you are never alone. Every ending is just the beginning of something greater. And I am ready for whatever comes next, with my heart wide open, my voice unafraid, and my dreams alive. Fame is not what it seems from the outside. I am Taylor Swift, and I have learned that the world can be both beautiful and unforgiving. Every step I took was watched, every word I spoke was analyzed, and every decision I made was judged. There were days when the criticism felt heavier than any stage lights. People would dissect my music, my relationships, even my personality. It was overwhelming, and sometimes I felt like I couldn't breathe under the weight of expectation. But in those moments, I found strength I didn't know I had. I reminded myself why I started singing in the first place, to tell my story, to share my heart, and to connect with people through music. I learned that staying true to yourself is more powerful than trying to please everyone else. I refused to let fear dictate my choices. I embraced my uniqueness, my emotions, and my creativity. I made bold decisions in my music, experimented with new sounds, and poured every bit of myself into my art. And the people who mattered, the fans who loved me for who I really am, stood by me, reminding me that authenticity always wins in the end. Through heartbreak, betrayal, and doubt, I discovered that courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to move forward despite it. I realized that my journey wasn't just about me, it was about inspiring others to find their voice, follow their dreams, and never compromise their heart. Looking ahead, I see endless possibilities. I am Taylor Swift, and I know that life is a collection of moments, some joyous, some painful, but each one shaping the person I am becoming. My dream has always been to touch hearts through music, and I know that my legacy will not be measured by awards or charts alone. It will be measured by the people I inspire, the emotions I evoke, and the courage I help others find in themselves. I hope that my story shows you that it's okay to be vulnerable, to make mistakes, and to face challenges head-on. Life will test you, but it will also reward your persistence, your heart, and your authenticity. Music will always be my way to connect, heal, and express every facet of life, love, heartbreak, hope, and joy. And as I continue this journey, I promise to keep dreaming bigger, loving deeper, and living fully. To everyone listening, chase your dreams fearlessly. Protect your heart, nurture your passions, and never forget that the world needs your voice. I am Taylor Swift, and I am still growing, still dreaming, and still believing in the magic that life has to offer. Every chapter of life, every struggle, every triumph is a part of the story that defines us. And I am proud to share mine with you, with all its lessons, love, and hope.